Hi guys, I'm Caitlin. Welcome to my channel, and if you clicked on this video, you came here to stay woke and not broke. So, the life we live in is full of learning stupid things that we do not need. Never have I taken a money management class or money habits, any actual financial things until I came to college. And even then, in college, I learned accounting. I still don't know how to save my money, right? If that's the question you have, you came to the right place. So I'm not like an expert financial advisor, but I have the basic habits and tips and guidelines to honestly just like quit making the basic wrong choices. You don't have to be a financial advisor to make smart money decisions, and you can make freaking $10 a day and still probably invest it better than you could not knowing any of these habits or mindset things. So, y'all broke? Let's fix it. So basically, just to break it down, I was so tired of not having money. I was so tired of like waking up stressed, going to sleep stressed. I kind of was raised in an environment where I knew a lot about money, almost to the point where I was scared of it, with like a scarcity mindset. Girl, let me just tell you about scarcity mindsets. Not good. Not good. No, not gonna help anyone. Not gonna help anyone. You got a scarcity mindset? So some people don't have the privilege of being raised around money, or even if you were born into money, you might think your value is placed on money. The biggest thing that I want you guys to take away from this video, I'm gonna say at the beginning, is to fix your mindset around money. So many of us have a scarcity mindset rather than an abundance mindset, or a fear mindset where we're literally scared of money, it stresses us out, or all of our value is in money. If you're born into money, you might think, I don't know how to live without it. And if you never have it, you're also gonna think, I don't know what it is to live with it. Like, it's stressful, I don't want it, I don't want the burden, I don't know what stocks are, investments are, credit cards are, they scare me, etc, etc, etc. You can just go down this spiral of not knowing what to do, and it can really stress everyone out. So I want you guys to heal your mindset and really dig deep as to why you are scared of money, why it stresses you out, and that can hopefully reveal some options on how we can fix this problem. Overall, a lot of people with money have these limiting beliefs where you might have a great business idea, but you have been coming from a generation of financial instability, and you're just honestly too scared to make these goals for yourself, or you're scared to go to these certain interviews because you want to have a stable job, and you're sitting yourself in a limiting belief cycle when really there are options that we could hopefully break through. Obviously, there are some things where there's limiting factors, and not everybody has the privileges, whether that's based on social, economics, or race and places you're living, geographic restrictions. There's so many things that not everybody has equal opportunity. That's a barrier that I wish society could break, but it's unfortunate that we live in a society where there are these racial and socioeconomic inequalities. But let's see if we can do the most possible to help everybody in regards to their money and their mindset. So one high recommendations I have for fixing your mental state around money is this book called You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. This book, let me tell y'all, this book has changed my life. And it was one of those books that you just don't want to put down. You're reading it and you're like, oh my god, this is me. Like, I have so many limiting beliefs. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Do I invest? Do I go in the stock market? Do I start my own business? Do I quit my job? Like, so many questions we ask ourselves, but we don't actually think about them and assess the different options. We're just stuck in our limiting belief cycle, and let's break through it. So the next thing is more towards investing, and I promise you I am not a pro at investing. I just know that it exists, and you want to have savings. You want to try to do things that can make your money work for you literally overnight. So let me put it this way. There's so many different situations, and there's so many people who have had it harder than me, harder than you, harder than so-and-so around the corner, right? So from my experience, I randomly just kind of realized, oh shit, I don't have any money. I'm trying to pay for college. What do I do? So instead of working all these jobs, like 3 different jobs, like DoorDash, doing extra things and like client work and trying to start my own business, working at a coffee shop, or not even working at all and just hoping someone buys me food that night. There's so many different things, and luckily I have the privilege of going to college. However, it is all in debt form. So I was trying to like make a living on my own, and so I picked up some of these habits and tried to learn as much as possible to get myself out of these situations. So instead of working 3 jobs, maybe there's ways that we can invest our money, like things with people can get financial advisors. They could, if you can't afford a financial advisor, you're not at that step to invest, ask your friends, ask for professional advice, because we don't learn these things in the school system. Our parents don't always teach us this. Not everybody has the privilege of having parents that teach them about money management, or you were born into a family that's generations of poverty and you're trying to break through. So there's so many different complex factors where not all of us are just as privileged with these resources. I might have a ton more than my friend next to me, and they might have a ton less than their friend next to them. There's this cycle. We just live in a society where it's unfair, and it's unfair especially for certain people. So one big thing that helps me is to save your cash, or if you get a lot of cash, potentially have the cash be the spending money. You need to have 2 types of revenue. Even if you only get $20 a month in cash, you don't have to be racking in cash. But if there's little ways where you can kind of hide it from yourself, if you don't want to be investing in a savings account, you want to see what you have. So I work at a place where I can receive tips, right? So for 2 years, I kept my 20s, put them in a drawer, put them in something, hid them. I didn't really like the idea of a savings account because I had that scarcity mindset where, oh shit, what if I need this? I'm not gonna put it in a savings account and then have to take it out and there'll be issues, etc, etc, etc. I want it right when I want it. I don't, you know, Betty from the bank holding my money. So there we go, scarcity mindset, or just the reality that we're living in, and not everybody has the privilege of taking their money and like saving it and not having access to it. With cash, I like to hide it away. Like I knew when I received those tips, I was only spending the 10s and the 5s, and those 20s were going to be saved. Or you can flip it, you can keep your 20s and invest the 5s and the 1s and the 10s. You know what I mean? To your own personal savings account. You got it in your room, you're good to go, you know. No one's gonna take your money unless someone breaks in. That's one thing I have worried about before. Vice versa. Say you want to keep your money in your like savings and banking account, and you spend your cash because that's your fun money. I know people who take out $80 a month and that cash is for their fun money, and once it's out, it's out. If you're at the bar, you can't get that other drink because you don't use your credit cards and you don't use that. See, I kind of have a looser budget when it comes to those things, so I want to hide the cash, invest in myself, know that I have a savings going on, because with cash, sometimes since it doesn't exist in my head, like swiping a card does, I'm like, oh yeah, here's cash, blah, 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 I didn't even count it, you know? No. I have learned the hard way and blown like $200 in one night because it was cash, you know what I mean? So like, it's just these physical things that I just, you know, versus like going into your bank account and being like, supposed to pay rent tomorrow. So the next thing is stocks and investing. So stocks can be extremely scary. I personally have not gotten into the ability to invest in stocks right now, although I could, and I wish I had sooner. So I know so many people who invest in stocks, and all the things that rich people do that they don't tell you is they invest in stocks. Their money works for them overnight, whether y'all want to do high risk or low risk or just steady ass stocks. So if you have that ability and that extra flexibility to maybe invest in something, instead of buying lottery tickets, that's a waste of money. Instead of gambling, that's a waste of money. Do stocks. So this scarcity mindset that I'm talking about, so many people think that stocks are gambling. Like, I was raised to think that stocks were a gamble. My dad always did stocks, and whenever he did good, we were super happy, and then whenever something would go bad, I thought we were going to like lose our house. So that's something that you want to assess and think about and research. You could use financial advisors, you could use Google, you could use YouTube. There are stocks that are not extremely high risk stocks. So I would try to educate yourself as much as possible if you have those resources, and try to use it to your advantage with the money that you do have. So our next favorite one is budgeting. So we all know that budgeting is the worst and the best thing ever. So budgeting is so effing important. Honestly, if you don't, like, if you're gonna do one thing other than the mindset, it's budgeting. There's no point in spending things that you don't have, and there's no point of spending things and not knowing what you're spending. I don't care how much money you make. You need to know, even if you want to. I don't care if you spend $1,000 on your nails every month, but you need to know that you're doing that. You need to know and want that desire. And you can kind of ask yourself those harsh questions where it's like, oh, didn't realize I spent $1,000 at Starbucks in 1 year. I know, that sounds crazy. That number literally sounds crazy, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I bet you half the people watching this, I'm probably talking to people who buy coffee 3 times a week, right? You're probably spending about $1,000 a year. Yep, but if you budgeted, you would know that. And coming from me, I am a biased person. I personally would like to spend my money on coffee. I love coffees and it makes me happy. So, you know, that's what I mean. It's just like literally assess what you like, what you don't like. I accidentally realized that I was spending a lot of money on alcohol. You know, I'm in my 20s, it's okay, but the fact that I'm spending so much money is ridiculous. Like, I could do so many different things with that money, and although in the moment it feels good, it feels fun, you know, but it's like, shit, like, worst case scenario, there's different options, you know. Once you budget, you can see, oh, I could probably do this at home. I could go to a friend's. I don't need to go out to bars. I don't need to go to the speakeasies, even though that's literally so sad. Whenever you're budgeting, you need to have your non-negotiables. You need to have your gas, your rent. A lot of things that people forget is stuff for your dogs. If you have a pet, you need to know how much their dog food costs, how much their shots cost. Anything like that adds up quick and bites you in the butt. Think about your car insurance. Think about your car tires. Think about those things. Although it's stressful, I know you guys are getting scared because all that money is stressful. You don't want to open your bank account and purposely be one of those people that doesn't look because you're scared because you know you spent your money. If those bills exist, you need to be aware of them. It sucks that your rent costs $800. It sucks that your tires cost $500, but wouldn't it be easier if you were prepared? Even though you're poor, you can afford it because you budgeted? That sounds great to me, just saying. Some amazing things for that are you could use QuickBooks. You could use an Excel spreadsheet and type it out. You could draw it out in Doodle. You could use Mint or Intuit. So Intuit, I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it has Mint and app. So this app you can download to your phone. This is not sponsored, by the way. I mean, I have like 300 subscribers, so I'm sure no one, you know, you guys know. Not to just call myself out. Maybe this video will blow up. Y'all like and subscribe, please. I just want to provide this stuff to y'all, and I need people to freaking watch my videos. This app you can download and you can attach it to all your bank accounts. So I attached it to one, and I thought it was only gonna track that one, but then I got another one. I attached it to that. So my credit card, my banking app, your Cash App, all those things, it can connect. And at the end, it'll send you alert. I love when I get alerts that I spent $100 on coffee in 1 month, when that could literally pay for my gas and my water. Caitlin, what are you doing? So exactly, we all F up, we all make mistakes, we all spend money where we shouldn't, whether that's on alcohol, smoking, clothes, food, dogs, cats, random vacations that you shouldn't be going on, giving money to your friends and family that you maybe shouldn't be lending them money to, stuff like that you can keep track of, and you can literally have an app that tells you and keeps you accountable. Accountability is the best thing when it comes to fixing your money habit. This is how you stay woke and not broke. Ooh, y'all. So I kind of already touched on this, but social spending. I know. So whether you are extremely social or not, in some type of way you're spending money on being social, whether that's going out and drinking with your friends or that's paying for all these subscriptions to your video games. Yeah, you know, I hit on you video gamers. People spend so much effing money on social life, but this is something that I like to include in my budget. I want to invest in my social life. I want to have fun. I want to not miss out on things. I want to do things for myself, with my boyfriend, with my friends, with my parents. There's so many different things that you want to be able to have that flexibility for, so I think budgeting is cool, especially if there's like a weekend getaway but you can't afford to go. That sucks. It's a horrible feeling, right? So what if we budgeted and assess how much money we spend on our social outing? I know so many people, they want to go to brunch, they want to go out, they text me, ooh, I spent $200 at Rainy Street. Okay, no, do not put yourself in situations where you're going to spend $200 unless you plan it. I mean, if you're gonna give and take 20 bucks, whatever, buy your friend a shot if you really want to, but you shouldn't go out thinking you're spending 30 and spend 200. I know half of y'all have done this. So please monitor your social spending, budget it out, think of creative ways. We literally have TikTok with so many creative ways and things that we can do with our friends, okay? Go on a damn walk. Go on a damn walk, go on your hot girl walk, go adventure and climb some mountain, play some free video games, quit paying for all these things. I don't know, do our little at-home cocktails. That was so much cheaper than spending all your money on cocktails, let me tell ya. All right, so then the last thing that I would talk about is credit card. So I'm not saying you should go get a credit card if you don't have money. Credit cards, I have seen ruin people's lives. Filing bankruptcy, extreme interest rates, can't afford, can't keep up, thought they were going to pay it off, like, oh, it's fine, like next month I'll pay it off, but then realizing they're still in that same financial pickle. I have learned from my peers' mistakes, if you will. So I want a credit card to work for me. I don't want to have to owe anyone anything. I don't want to have to pay more money from spending my money, right? I want my money to work for me. So I have the Capital One Venture app where every dollar I spend, I get 2 points. So I could literally use the card for almost anything besides like rent and medical bills. And that's what I do. I never spend any money or swipe that card unless I can afford it in my bank account. You should not be spending money you do not have. That goes hand in hand with car payments. You don't need to be having these Reddit outs if you can't afford it. I know there's some specific situations where you're like, okay, well, what do I do if I already fucking did it? Or I have to get a new car or I can't go to work. But lower your spending means. You should be living below your means if you can. If you're a college student, for example, live below your means. You don't have a kid, you don't have a family you need to feed, you have yourself. Quit getting these payments for yourself, okay? So I only swipe that card if I can pay it off. Otherwise, you don't need a credit card. At that point, you gotta figure something out. Another job maybe, some type of investment, sell some of your things. There's so many things you can do, like reselling clothes, etc, etc. So with the Venture Capital One card, I get 2 points for every dollar I spend. So that means by me spending my own money within my means, I can go on a trip for free because those travel points were accumulated with my credit card. So not only is this one way to monitor your spending and get little cash back rewards, etc, etc, because it's within my means, I can now go on a trip for free rather than spending that money on that trip. So once you get all those other basics down, I would say that a credit card, as long as you have good spending habits, is awesome to kind of build some of that net worth and some extra fun things, whether that's cash back on Amazon, cash back on the card, lowering your interest rates, or going on a trip for free. There's so many positive things you can get out of it. Credit card, as long as you have good money spending habits. Alright guys, so that's all my tips on how to stay woke and not broke. Come on, y'all can do it, I know. Fix that mindset, look at your budget. Those are the main things you need to do, and if you can, get a credit card within your means, and maybe you can go on a trip for free. And I hope that this is helpful. I feel for the people who have just been suffered by our economy and the situations we're in and all the inequalities that we have, and I hope that I can help you in some type of way to get through it. And those are all of my tips. I have plenty more if you guys want to see more, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.